Hi there, haven't been here in a while. Decided to check on you guys. Mostly because I've noticed that there were some comments that would come up in notifications, but when I go on my video and try to see what's going on and maybe answer, I don't see them in the comments. So I don't know, maybe YouTube deleting them or something, but there were some questions that I wanted to answer. The most recent one was about my needle and F2 shank. Like somebody had a problem securing the needle. As you can see, I didn't do anything like special to it. Like some people suggested maybe using like a hot glue or something to secure the needle in this thing, like the original needle that came with the device, but I haven't. You see, like you can sort of put it in and out. I just like secure it with like a pair of these things and that's it. I mean, it comes out, it kind of stays there, like it doesn't come out like easily, and you can sort of like press it hard and it kind of stays there. I mean, it works for me because if I use hot glue, then if I want to change this thing, like the needle, I would have to replace the whole thing, and I don't want to do that. So I only have this and like one extra that came with the device, and that's it. And I don't feel like buying anymore. So it works for me. It's not my biggest challenge. It doesn't really cause me that much trouble. It would come out sometimes, like when I insert it in a skin. I mean, it would come out occasionally, but it's not the biggest challenge using the whole device. The biggest challenge for me was that was another question, is regarding magnification, which is, I would say, like 70% of your success. You have to have a good magnification in order to get into follicle. I was using this device for a while and I wasn't getting consistent results. The hair would slide out and then it wouldn't. I mean, I couldn't really figure out what was the deal and how to like get consistent results, like getting into hair follicle. And when then I just started using my phone. It was like weird setup. I would use like a stand with a flexible like thing, and I would attach my phone to it, and I would like put it like use my phone, like zoom on a phone as a basically a magnifying glass, which wasn't convenient at all. But I haven't like gotten to order a magnifying glass, which I would highly recommend, because even with the phone, even with that setup, I was able to see when I would zoom in and see where I inserting the needle. I could see that when it looks like I put it in the right place, it actually gets in, because like follicles, like the hair follicles, they're very close to each other. You can get into the next, like in a follicle right next to the one that you intend to treat, and you feel like, oh yeah, the current is there, but the hair is not sliding out because you were in wrong follicle that was right next to it, and you weren't like doing the job that you thought you were doing. So I think a lot of error comes with the lack of good magnification. So you don't know what you're doing. You don't see anything. And another thing, I would highly recommend starting working on a darker, like coarser hair first. Like if, for example, you have some lighter hair and you're like, oh yeah, I want to get rid of like this hair somewhere, and like it's the only hair I want to treat, and like I'm just gonna like do it here. Like don't do it. Like practice. You really need to practice, and all that over treatment. And eventually I have like a little like white dots that somebody was like talking about also in comments. I do have them on my bikini area because I was stupid enough to practice in an area that is going to be quite visible. So I do have those like little white dots, but like they don't bother me that much. It like really, it could be like, it could go really wrong. I was just lucky that I wasn't over treating it like too much. I would suggest practicing on probably your like lower abdomen, like pubic hair, but that the hair that will be eventually covered with like bathing suit or something, so you know, I mean, not no one, but most people won't see it ever on you. So it's like, because the hair there is very coarse, it's easier to see, and like you don't have to like sort of bend, you don't have to like go sideways, you can just, it's straight down, you can see it, you have good access, and like you can practice on those hair, they're like coarse, and you know, like you can easily see what you're doing. So I would suggest that, and it really takes time to figure it out. Like there is no way around it. It will take time until it starts to slide out consistently, and you know, like you get the feeling, you recognize it, like you know, okay, that's like I'm in the right place, I'm like treating the hair, and you kind of figured out the timing, you figured out the current that you're working on, like the setting on a machine. Like I'm like doing it on 2, and some people commented that like they get over treated even on 2, but again, I mean, this machine is like super cheap, it's like $35. Like in China they probably, I mean, it's like, I don't know, 30 cents or something in China. So the quality control is probably, I mean, not existent. I don't think, I mean, they're all different. They're not consistent. The current is different, I think, for every machine, and you kind of, I mean, it's a luck. I mean, you get a good one, you get like not so good one. Like with those cheap like things, you can't really expect much from them. I was kind of maybe lucky enough, like mine works fine on setting 2 and 3, like it's enough for me. It gets the job done. And since last time I haven't done anything, like I didn't do anything else but what I did already, the areas that I treated already. And it's part of my bikini area, like one side, and my belly area that is still fine, it's going good. Like I do have some lighter hair, but it doesn't bother me much. I mean, it's nowhere close to like what it used to be, and I was very self-conscious, and I'm not anymore. Also, I do have I used to have a problem. I don't have it anymore, and which is like also kind of like, I mean, it's like I never thought I'm gonna get rid of those hair. Like I thought they're gonna stay with me forever. So that's why I love this machine, because I mean it worked for my needs. I used to have a hair over here in my chin area. I didn't have much. It was like 2 hair like down here, like one, like, I mean, they were kind of close to each other, but like I don't even remember where they used to be. But I had them for like 15 years. They were like my old friends, but they were like coarse. They were coarse black hair. And there was another one over here, like I have a mole, and like the hair would come out like in that area, and I could tell that it was like different phases, so it was different hairs, because sometimes it would come like out one place, another time it would be from the others, like because like I have this mole over here, so I could kind of see where it grows out of. But like I don't have it anymore. I mean, it's gone. Like I used to be also like so self-conscious about those hair, like, oh, I have a beard. I don't have it anymore. So maybe, I mean, I don't know, like if you have like a lot of hair on your face, maybe it's not the best option. Maybe like the way to go is to buy a professional machine that is I don't know, used, or there are some machines that are sort of not like professional grade. They're like professional, like Apple's, or like, I'm not sure, like I'm not gonna like butcher the names, like I don't really remember. But I mean, they go for like 2,500s. Those are, you can kind of predict like the current. They're pretty reliable. They're like, they're expensive, but they're good. And maybe that's the way to go for you. But like I didn't have that much to begin with, and as soon as I figured out how to consistently get the good result, not over-treat myself and put the needle where it needs to go, like slide the hair out. It worked for me. And another thing, I kind of wanted to make another video on that, but maybe I can talk about it in this one, is I just wanted to share my experience with the professional electrolysis, I don't know, cosmetologist or whoever that lady was that treated my hair before I bought this machine. And that was a couple of years ago, and it was actually two different people. Like, I went to two different places to treat my hair, and I did some research before I went there, but I kind of thought that, oh my god, like, they go into the school, they're learning, they're like, they're supposed to be some kind of, I mean, there is an expectation of like, they put the client first, like their needs first, and I don't think that's the case. You can't really rely on, like, I don't know, like, that people would put your needs first. Like, you're coming there to permanently remove the hair, and they would do everything to do it, like, I don't know how to say it. Like, they would do their best, like, they would sort of schedule it the way, like, that works best for you, so you get list treatments and get the best results, like, fastest or something like that. But I mean, it doesn't work this way, unfortunately. The first girl I went to was great. I mean, I liked her a lot, but she was just learning, and it still was like $100 an hour. And all she was able to do, like, I did my underarms, she was able to treat a quarter of my armpit. I mean, I have a lot of hair, but it's not like unusual like amount of hair. It's just like, probably, like, I have like a lot of hair, like, it's dense, you know, like, the area is not big, but like, I have like a lot of hair on my underarms. And she was able to treat only like a quarter of underarm. It was like an hour. So in order to treat, like, to fully treat one area, it would take her 4 hours, which is like $400. And like, she's just training. Her insertion is not that good. She's not as accurate, and her, like, kill rate, basically, it's like how much hair she's actually, like, killing with, because, like, not every hair that they're treating, I mean, depending on your specialist, on, like, how experienced they are, how good they are, how, like, their technique and everything, like, they have a kill rate. So, like, all the hair that they taken out that is actually never gonna grow back again. And I think that it's very hard for you to tell how good your provider is, especially if you, like, new to this thing, you know, like, you never, like, you didn't read anything, you didn't do research, you kind of, like, you don't know what to expect. And most of what they're saying is kind of bullshit, like, to be honest, because it's in their interest to tell you, oh, it's so like, unique, you know, depending on person. Some people it takes like this time, some people it takes that time. Like, yes, that's true, but it's not like one person is gonna take like 3 times, like 3 clearings, and the other person is gonna take like 50 clearings, you know. Like, it really, a lot of result depending on the skills of the person, like, of the provider who is doing the treatment. And I mean, it's really kind of like, I don't know, it's not sad, it is what it is, but for me, it's really not worth it going to, like, anybody, you know. Like, there are so many electrolysis specialists, and they're basically like vaxxers, like, to be honest. So I quit going to that first girl. Like, I mean, she was sweet, she was great, and I think, like, eventually she's gonna become like a specialist, but until she's there, I don't think it's really making much sense paying like $100 for what she was providing, because, like, hair was still growing out. I mean, it's gonna take forever. It's gonna take, like, I don't know, like, I would have to, like, pay her like Mercedes for, like, treating my armpit and never having hair again, and like 20 years later or something, So it's really kind of ridiculous how, I mean, this whole industry works. Like, I feel like you're supposed to pay for the result, you know? I mean, if you go to electrologist, like, you can kind of deliver the result. You can, you know how fast you're going, you know how, what your kill rate is, and you know on average how many sessions it's gonna take you I'm sorry, to treat the armpit and to have this like hair gone forever. And that's exactly what another person does, another specialist that lives in California. I believe, oh my god, I haven't prepared it all. His name is Michael Bono. He has a couple of videos on YouTube and they're like extremely informative, and I actually learned a lot from him. And he is also posting on that hair tell website where like you can talk about electrolysis, and there are like a lot of people sharing their experience, and that's where I learned about that clean and easy thing, and I learned a lot of stuff there. And I kind of trust Michael in that regard, that he's a really good specialist, and like if he's suggesting someone, like I feel like that's the person I have to go to, because like I'm not gonna go to California, I mean not right now, but if I decided to go back to like a person, to a specialist to have my hair treated, it would be either Michael or in New York area there is another person that he actually suggested. It's in Long Island, and I think one of the towns like Little Egg or something, or Clam something. I mean, if anybody's interested, I can find out. But anyways, so Michael is actually telling you, he's telling you how long it's gonna take for you, like in a normal circumstances, again, plus minus, but he can tell you how long on average it takes him to treat your underarms, like how many treatments it's gonna take. And he's saying that I mean, based on many factors, and I read a lot about it, and I feel like that's what making most sense is what he was saying, that it's gonna take, like, it takes him no more than 10 treatments usually, usually even less to, treatments means like complete clearing of your underarm. It's not gonna take more than 10 hours. I'm sorry. I think it's 3 treatments spaced, like each treatment spaced 3 months apart, which is based on like the hair cycle and everything. It's not gonna take more than 10 hours. So he is, usually it takes him less. He's saying that like 10 hours is like, maybe like 3% of people out of like all his clients, it would take like 10 sessions, but most people like done with like, not 10 sessions, 10 hours, but most people it takes him like, I don't know, like 5 hours to like treat, like to get all the treatments done. And so basically you get the number, like you know what the average is, you kind of, you know how much money you're gonna, like at least you know like approximate sum of money that you're going to spend on that. And he's you paying him money up front, so because he knows he's reliable, he knows how much it's going to take him, so he kind of he's like, okay, this is the price. I'm going to treat your underarms, and like 3 sessions, or how much, like I don't know how many sessions it's going to take, but like on average 3 sessions, each session spaced a month apart, 3 months apart. So it's gonna like take a year maybe, but in a year you're not gonna have hair, and you pay upfront like $500 or something like that, which is a very reasonable price. And I think that's how it's supposed to be. You have to pay for the results, because the second lady that I went to in Jersey, she had her own salon, she was working for herself, and she was doing waxing as well. So I feel like her main sort of goal was to have you without hair. Like it didn't matter for her that much, like how long like those hair are gonna be gone, like if they're gonna be gone forever or not. Like eventually, like you're gonna keep coming, have those clearings. She kind of works fast. So eventually you're gonna probably get rid of all those hair, but it's gonna take you years. Like the way she's working, it's really, I mean, she's plucking hair out, that's for sure. And that's the thing that I kind of I didn't want to believe in it. I just wanted it to work. I was so sick of the hair. Like was doing like my belly area and my underarms. I just wanted to be gone, and I wanted to believe that she's like, even though I read that if you feel like plucking, like if you feel that provider plucking your hair out, like that's no. Like you should like either tell them not to do that or like stop going there, because I mean it's like waste of money, like whatever. Like if they pluck the hair out, that's it, it's not treated properly, it's gonna grow back. And that's what she was unfortunately doing. And I can tell you that I spent like I've spent, I would say, like $900, like talking realistically, on that lady alone. And some of my hair, like, I mean, I want to believe that I have less than I used to on my underarms, but to be honest, it's not really, I mean, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Whatever she did, like it's not worth it on $100. And like my like underarm hair are they're still there. And my video and like, or my photo, whatever I posted of my belly area, the before picture with all the hair, that is actually after picture of what like her work. That's the result that she like delivered. That's like the hair that grew back, and that was before I started Clean and Easy. So I mean that was her like result, but that was like my starting point for like my self electrolysis. And as you could see, I mean, I had like a lot of hair. And my first girl, she did clear my belly area twice completely. And that second lady, she cleared my belly area at least 9 times. Completely cleared the area. But I was going to her every like 3 weeks, which is also like stupid. Just don't do that. Like if your provider is telling you, go every week, like, I mean, I'm sorry, it's not gonna work. Like, or, oh, go like every, like, it's, you want to believe it, you want to be hair free in between the, like your treatments, but it's just not gonna work. You really need to let those hair grow out. You need to trim them. You don't want to shave them. You don't want to plug them. You don't want to do any of that. Just in between sessions, like it's painful, like in terms of your mental state, but that's the way to do it. Like you have to trim your hair in between. And unfortunately, it's the only way like to do it, because then like the provider, like 3 times, I mean specialists, I don't know how to call them correctly, like 3 months after your first treatment, like they can go back and like have all the hair that are like there and like treat all the hair that came out, and like they're like established and everything, and treat all those hair, because that's the most efficient way. Like unfortunately, that's the reality. And another good indicator of professionalism, and like, I mean, that like your provider knows what they're doing is, or like how you can tell that the person who is treating you have a good kill rate, or like they're experienced. You have to have your first treatment like properly, like first, like whole clearing. For example, if I want to treat my underarm and see like how good my person like is who's treating my underarm, I'm not gonna shave it for like, I mean, I'm not gonna wax it at all for like a month or so. And I'm like going to, I mean, shaving is probably fine. Like realistically, you're not gonna trim it like for a month, like you're gonna shave it. But anyways, just shave it. Don't wax it or anything. Don't pluck the hair out, like for a month. Then grow them a little bit, like, I don't know, like a little bit. So they have like something to like some room to pull the hair out. And have whole clearing, like the full clearing of the underarm. Like go there, not like, oh, I have like an hour, or I have like whatever, how long it's gonna take. Just ask them to clear the whole area. And don't come back like until like 3 months later, because only like that's the amount of time you need for all the hair to come back out. Like whatever they didn't kill, it's gonna come out, and you're gonna actually see the result. Like make a picture before and compare it to 3 months later. Don't go there like, oh, come every week, or like bullshit. Just don't do it. Like come 3 months later. It's inconvenient, but it's gonna save you a lot of money. And like that's the clear indication of how professional your provider is, because ideally, and that's what like Michael is providing actually, because you can see his results. You can see, oh, after first treatment it's supposed to look like that, after second treatment it's supposed to look like that. I mean, plus minus, you can see that at least half of your hair, like at least half of the density, but like it's most of your hair have to be gone after first clearing. And that wasn't the case with any of my providers that were treating me. Like all the hair, like, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, the lady was treating, like the second lady was treating my, like this hair as well. And they were coming back. They were coming back all the time. And until I actually started doing like my self-electrolysis, they were coming back. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, I don't know what the reason is. I don't know why they're like that. I don't know why it's still working. I don't know how those people are still in business. But I think that's, I mean, the industry, it's sad, but it's true. And you kind of, it's your responsibility to basically check your provider, make sure that they know what they're doing and that they deliver the results. So again, I'm sure, like, I mean, this video is quite long, but if you still have questions, you can like write a comment or something and I'll try to answer it. But again, like I noticed that some comments for my videos are, I mean, I don't see them in a comment section. I see them in notifications, and like I can't really read like if it's a long comment, like I cannot see the whole thing. But I mean, I don't know what else, how to solve this problem. But anyways, this is all I have to say. All right, see you guys later. Bye.